Okay, welcome students. In this video today we're going to be learning how to do box and whisker plots. And so down here I have all the steps that we need to do. So we'll run through the steps first and then we'll go ahead and start constructing the graph. The first thing that you have to do is you need to check your data to make sure it's sorted from small to largest. And if you look at our data set right here, this is not sorted, so that's one of the things that we're going to have to do. After you sort your data, you have to find the middle number. And the middle number is going to cut our data in half. So if I, like on this set of data, I have 12 numbers. So when I get done, I'll have 6 numbers down here, and I'll have 6 numbers up here, and there'll be a number in the middle. So Q1 will be the middle of the lower half, and Q3 will be the middle of the upper half. Now the last thing we have to do as far as the data, we have to find our mean. And the mean is when we add up all the numbers. I add up all 12 of these numbers and I divide by the count. So another thing that we have to do is we're going to put numbers along here on the bottom of the graph, and we're going to set this up by counting by fives. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to pause my video for just a second and we'll go ahead and get our data sorted. Okay, so looking at my data, here's my data. It's all sorted, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers, so that's the count of numbers that I have. And it says here I have to find the middle number. So the middle number should be 6 numbers in from each end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2 middle numbers on this. And if you look down here at the notes, it says the median. If I have an odd count of numbers, it's just going to be the middle number. If I have an even count of numbers, I have to take the 2 middle numbers and divide by 2. That means on the data set that I have here, I have to take 19 plus 20. That gives me 39. I have to divide that by 2, and I get 19.5. So right here in the very center, let me zoom in so you can see this really good, I am going to put me a mark right here. That is where my data is cut right in half. And then Q2 is 19.5. Now I have to find Q1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I add the 2 middle numbers together, that's 26. I divide 26 by 2, and I get 13. So I'm going to go ahead and mark. So there's Q1, there's Q2. Q1 is 13. And now let's find Q3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2 middle numbers. I take 22, add it to 22, I get 44. I divide that by 2, and I get 22. Now if I look for my minimum and my maximum, the minimum looks like it's 11. And the maximum over here, it looks like it's 27. Now I have one last number to find, and you can go ahead and help me with this. Go ahead and add up all these numbers, add up all 12 of these numbers and divide it by 12, and that will be your mean or your average. Okay, so I added up all my numbers. Hopefully we came up with the right one. I'm pretty sure I get 18.75. So that's the average is 18.75. Hopefully that's the right one. So this is my data. These are what we call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 data numbers that's important, and we're going to throw the mean in there as a 6th one. So we sorted our data. We found Q2, which is the middle number. We have to sort our data. Find Q1, it's the middle of the lower half, and Q3 was the middle of the upper half. We have our minimum, which is our lowest number, the max, which is the largest, and then we added our numbers together and found the mean. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and plot our data. And I think it would be really good to go ahead and set up our graph. So let me zoom in here and I'll show you how to do this. We're going to start counting by fives. Now, sometimes this will change depending on what your data is. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we've got our graph done as far as the tick marks. Now we need to plot our data points. So we're going to plot our minimum and maximum. Our minimum is at 11. So there's 11. So right in the middle here, go ahead and put a dot. Our maximum is 27. So there's 25, 26, 27. Now what we want to do is plot Q1. Q1 was at, looks like 13. Let me move down so we can see it. So Q1 was at 13. And at Q1, we're going to go ahead and draw us a vertical line at 13, just like this. We're going to do the same thing at Q2, which is 19.5, 19 and a half. So 19.5 is right there. And then at Q3, Q3 was at 22, so there's 20, 21, 22. And now from Q1, let's go ahead and label these. I think that would be really good to do. So this is Q1. This is Q2. This is Q3. And now from Q1 to Q3, we are going to draw ourselves a box, just like that. So that's why they call it a box and whisker plot. There's the box. So this is the middle of the number, so this cuts the data in half. It looks like our data is pretty much evenly stretched. It's a little bit more stretched out this way, and I'll show you that in a minute. So there's the box. Now let's go ahead and do the whiskers. The whiskers is where we take the median, or take the minimum. We connect it with the box. We take the maximum and connect it with the box. 18, almost 19. So we're going to do this with just a dotted line right here. So there's our mean. There's the data that's cut in half. So our mean is just a little bit below our median. So this data is what they call very, very symmetric. In other words, half of the data is up here and half of the data is down here. So the skewness of the data goes a little bit heavy to the low end, and the data is a little bit tighter towards the higher numbers. So that's how you draw a box and whisker plot, and hopefully you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.